Scorpio, in this time, you have come to teach your fellow beings about the proper use of power, the right use of will, and how not to misuse energy. Scorpio holds a tremendous amount of energy, which can be used for positive or negative ends. You teach those who hold this energy how to use it properly. It is all about healthy boundaries for yourself and others. When this energy is used properly, whether it is used for mental, physical, spiritual, or financial healing, its potential is extreme. If used in a negative way, it can be devastating. It is your job to use it in a positive way and teach others to do the same. If used for personal gain, without regard for others, the involution can be just as extreme. We also have a responsibility to create our own destiny and manifest our desires on the physical plane. But we must do this without interfering with the destinies of others. You teach those around you to take total charge of themselves, to be accountable for their actions, to understand that whatever is given out comes back to the self. The concept that every energy expelled from the physical being, the spiritual being, or the emotional being comes full circle to the source. The Scorpio eclipse rules this energy of what goes around comes around. You teach that we are all held accountable for our actions, our desires, and even our creations, for we are responsible for whatever it is that we manifest. You have the unnerving ability to see into the essence of a person and recognize what needs repair. And thus you are able to teach moral, financial, and spiritual responsibility. You draw people to you who need to know if there are any cracks in their foundation. For in bringing the Scorpio energy into their lives, they become aware of any personal weaknesses. Remember that you are responsible for shedding light in areas where you expose ills. You do not have the right to inflict pain without cause. You are the eclipse pattern of the surgeon, and it would be just as a great karmic debt for a surgeon to open a living body and walk away as it is for you to expose a wound without shedding the insight and using your energy for transformation and regeneration. If you are functioning from negativity, you are capable of using the resources of others with little regard for how it may weaken them. On the negative plane, you can be highly manipulative, forfeiting your free will to a cycle out of which it seems to be almost impossible to climb. If you yield to the temptation of altering your own behavior in order to elicit a certain response from others, you can find yourself trapped in a vicious cycle. When you use your ability to understand the psychological mechanisms of another for the purpose of manipulation, the result is mutual entrapment. You may continue this pattern until you recognize what it really does. The energy of manipulation actually limits your own life experience. Remain true to your own desires, whether or not those around you have the same ones. Others need the freedom to have separate goals, and you must avoid the temptation to sway them from their path. Your power comes from keeping the purest of personal integrity. Keeping your personal integrity intact allows you in sharing your knowledge of the workings of the universe. The depth of your spiritual awareness, your understanding of the cycles of life and death, and the motivation for the behavior patterns of those around you. In this way, you can add insight and clarity to the lives that you touch without giving in to the temptation of using your power to bend the will of others. When you are in a state of high integrity, you have the ability to help those around you locate what needs healing in themselves, which enables them to become clearer about their own motives. Then they are able to take responsibility for their actions and rise to a new level of personal power. You tend to draw people to you who have an improper prosperity consciousness. You teach them to rise above the financial muck that they have imposed upon themselves. You can recognize when they have taken a wrong turn in terms of their values. You see when they need help to realign their own pathways with moral principles that will serve them. You are willing to lead people out of places that others would fear to enter, for you can see the future consequences from present actions. You can see where others are on the wrong track, and you have the integrity and courage to show them how they can realign themselves with their own best interests. You are teaching it is more important to help others remove blocks to personal empowerment than it is to be tactful or to ignore the obstructions. Because of your ability to help people who are out of alignment, you tend to attract all sorts of lost sheep. If you are coming from negativity, you can incur a great deal of negative karma from misusing people in their moments of weakness. You are teaching the correct use of power and must take care not to misuse it yourself, since you will be held accountable at a later date. Your gift of healing. You heal people's value systems, moral, financial, and spiritual. During this process, you empower others to tap their own creative resources and thus become successful. Many of you work within financial counseling and rehabilitative institutions of all kinds, whether physical, spiritual, or financial. These could include mortgage companies, metaphysical counseling, the medical profession, collection agencies, the Internal Revenue Service, or other investigative agencies. People are drawn to you whose values are contrary to those of society. This is because they need contact with healing energy to come back into alignment with themselves and their own constructive use of power. These people sense that their energy is harmful to society, yet their spiritual essence does not want to harm society. So they are looking for help. The universe wants to heal all of its children, and therefore it empowers you with the energy to confront people with weakened values and to help them see how their actions affect other people. You are teaching people that until their values are in alignment with the universal principles, all of their actions will be self-defeating, fruitless, or even disappointing in some way. You can show them where their internal base for relating with others is out of alignment with what would help them establish their own personal power. The proper use of sexual energy. This is another lesson that you are teaching, since you have a natural understanding of why people join on a physical level. You know consciously that we are not embodied. We are androgynous, not male or female, but a completion of both energies. Upon incarnating, one of those energies lies dormant within us unless we become aware enough to claim it and stop projecting it onto the opposite sex. But until this transformation takes place, there is the need for the joining of bodies to attain a sense of spiritual completion. Sexual energy is so powerful because it creates a vehicle for another soul to enter this plane. You understand that when two bodies are joining, so are their souls. This is why the male energy blending with the female energy allows both a sense of completion. That union incurs a great deal of responsibility because there is also a blending of the actual juices of life. The fluids of the male enter the female, and on a much more subtle level, the fluids of the female enter the male. Through this blending, there is a completion of body, mind, and soul, an interweaving of energies on all three levels. If the couple is compatible, there is truly a feeling of satisfaction for both. If there is no compatibility, a disharmony is created within both. You are aware of the magnitude of sexual interchange on the spiritual as well as the physical level. And you have the capacity to share this knowledge with others and intuitively understand that the act of sex is a form of spiritual completion. If your lunar eclipse is in this sign, your prenatal lunar eclipse, you are learning lessons relating to your value system, not being swayed in your values, how to share your values, overcoming negative manipulative traits, and taking responsibility for your sexual behavior. You need to learn the appropriate spiritual values and gain the understanding that as part of an intricate whole, these values affect all those around you. As the energies you emit come back to you, you are learning that what goes around comes around. Learning to plant positive seeds is important, since negative seeds grow like weeds and need no nurturing. Realigning your principles is sometimes difficult, for you are coming from previous existences of being concerned with setting proper foundations for the self and the family. In this time, however, you need to learn that society is interdependent and you are responsible for more than just yourself. We must all aid one another. The strong must help the weak, and the weak must learn how to be strong. You also need to discover what the boundaries are for yourself and for others. You have a strong desire to push others to their limits because you want to know the boundaries. How far can I push you? At what point will you give in? Will you stand up to me? If they give in, you have no use for them, and you will move on to someone or something new. You do this because, without a sense of your own boundaries, you are afraid of misusing your power unless someone else sets limits for you. Your energy is like raw power, a rushing flood of water. Until you find something or someone to contain it, it just creates havoc in its path. When you do find containment, you become totally content. Once you know your limits, you can direct your power from within them. Only then do you feel safe enough to claim your power fully. Children born with this eclipse pattern need special guidance in discovering their boundaries. Whatever limits are set must always be enforced. As children mature and boundaries are expanded, they must be told that the boundaries are being expanded and why. With this assistance, they are able to learn their proper place in their family, play, school environments, and society. Once the boundaries are set, however, these children will still try to test the strength of the walls. They will continually have to be told, you can only go this far. I say it and I mean it. And you cannot cross that line. If they are allowed to cross that line even once, there is no turning back. If these children see the weaknesses, they will push twice as hard the next time, even if you stand up to them. They will not stop pushing those close to them until you tell them that's enough. Even when you become an adult, your parents, lovers, bosses must never back down from your power. If they can stand their ground and teach you the value of your place within their reality, you will trust them. Then they will find you are an invaluable ally, for you will do anything for those you trust, and your loyalty is immeasurable, and you would trust them with your life. If they are careless enough to make a fool of you in any situation, they will find out that you only remained within the boundaries they set because you respected them. Respecting others. One of your lessons is learning to respect others. You're looking for something within the human race that is deserving of respect. Yours is the energy of destruction, and you incarnated thinking that everything here is bad and needs to be rebuilt. Now you want to know who and what is of value here. The purpose of these thoughts is to purge and restructure yourself, keeping what is good and destroying what is not. You are looking for something or someone worthy of your respect. When you find it, you honor it. But when you find that you can't respect something, you try to destroy it. You need to define those qualities in others that are valuable to you and begin building them in yourself. You do this by testing others to discover the limits of their integrity, strength, value, and moral fiber. You are seeking to find if there is something really good and worthwhile in those around you, and if they have the integrity to live their principles as well as teach them. You are looking to find what values give other people the strength and self-confidence to work for the good of the planet so you can emulate them and find peace. In this lifetime, you're becoming aware that in other lifetimes, you have allowed your values to slip. You have a misuse of power from past lives on your conscience, and you feel that either you or those you have been exposed to deal in a negative, manipulative energy, and you want to transform the essence of your soul totally. You are desperately looking for something of value, something good, because this is the energy of transformation and regeneration. You want to get rid of what isn't good within you so you can rebuild yourself and be of value to others and to society. If you don't meet with any limitations and don't find anyone with a strong enough value system to guide you in your youth, your life can become very difficult. You may even become imprisoned or institutionalized in places that will take responsibility for providing a structure for you and for giving you a substantial set of values. But with luck, you will find something good in people and society that is worthy of your allegiance and support. Once your energy is aligned with something you believe in, something you have tested and know to be worthwhile and beyond reproach in its integrity, you pledge yourself to it with your whole heart. That principle, person, or cause then becomes your value. It can contain your energy and make use of your tremendous strength, and you can find peace within it. When the Scorpio energy is silent and reserved, it is because it is angry inside. And you realize the extent of your power and know that if you let loose, society will lock you up. When you are resentful, it's because your energy has no outlet that you can believe in. Your energy desperately needs a focus and a cause that you can pledge that power to. And in the process of building this cause, your energy finds its own radiant expression. This is why the Scorpio energy is often the power behind the throne. Your power is strong enough to lift anyone to success if you believe in him strongly enough. You have no need to be in the limelight yourself, but you have a tremendous need to find someone or something to believe in. You have come to learn that there is a good in the world, and you are aware of the bad, and you have an intuitive ability to see anything that needs to be repaired or destroyed. You need to learn that there are things around you that have strong, solid bases that you can believe in. You feel such a need to share your tremendous energy because that energy, the Scorpio energy, is one of a joint value. You want to find someone to believe in so you can share your values and build a strong power base. Being in the limelight's not important, but you do want to operate from a strong base of power, and therefore you tend to go through life gathering people around you who you trust. If you give people your trust, there is something very special inside of them because you don't trust easily. You may trust certain people with one area of your life and not trust them with another. If that is your relationship with them, you will always have one eye on them. You won't be the power behind the throne for these people, but if you see value in them, you will let them be a part of your army. Every member of your support group is someone who is indebted to you. You have an exaggerated fear of failing in money matters, reputation, career, so you always have markers in your pocket as a backup, people who owe you favors. You need to develop more trust in the universe so you are not constantly running scared. Then you can relax and allow the universe to help you build what you feel is truly good and worthwhile so you can find peace and enjoyment in life. You are learning that you cannot depend on other people to set your boundaries and contain your energy. You need to get in touch with what is good for you and begin to act within your own boundaries and be responsible for your own energy. Human frailty frustrates you, so you are driven to self-perfection and you think that weaknesses in the physical body limit your power. You seek a sense of mastery over yourself and your environment, and you strive to master the physical body and to learn its limits. You also push the others to their limits, but never beyond where you yourself have gone. Learning to feel your body and to listen to it is important so that you won't push yourself to the point of breaking down physically. You may tend to push your body past its limits to exhaustion, and then you have to rebuild your strength from scratch. You feel that you have the know-how of how far your body will take you in a pinch. In your search for limits, therefore, the first place you tend to look is your physical body. You are often a late bloomer financially. This is because you spend so much time doing favors for others and securing your power base that you don't spend the time building your own success through your own merit. You expend time and energy on people that you hope will support you because you are so fearful of having the rug pulled out from under you. But in actuality, you are giving away your power a little bit here and a little bit there. As you learn to trust yourself, you will know that you're strong enough to get back up again if you fall. You're beginning to realize that you don't need the support of all those around you because you are a mountain of power within yourself. When you connect with the power within you and learn to go with your natural inborn flow, you will find that the universe does support you and there is good in the world and in you. That is what you are here to learn. Discovery and belief in your own goodness. You are also learning to stop projecting your goodness outward by looking for somebody else to believe in. As you learn to support and trust yourself by being true to your own sense of goodness, you can begin to construct your own boundaries and contain your own energy. This gives you the freedom to be more trusting of those around you, since it eliminates the need to give away your power. This will also lead to the realization that it is all right for you to be successful and to be in the limelight. Then you can be the power behind your own throne and rise to success. From this position, you can support those around you, but from a purer motive, since you no longer feel that you need them to ensure your own strength. Now, when you support others, it will be from a place of true caring, and you will no longer be involved in a process that gives your power away. The caliber of people around you will also change. As long as you thought you needed others to support you, you knowingly held yourself down by having opportunities around you, feeding off your energy. This is why you so often has been disappointed in the human nature. When you feel you are buying favors from others rather than simply giving freely without strings attached, you deprive those around you of giving their own volition and love when you need their help. By not giving freely, you have robbed yourself of the opportunity to experience the law of cause and effect in a positive way. Whatever you give to another has to come back to you. If not through the person you gave it to, then through someone else when you need it. As you learn to unblock the flow within yourself by giving freely, you will see the goodness in others as you experience them giving freely back to you. This feels very different from begrudging indebtedness and obligation. You need to learn that if you look for the worst in people, you will agitate them until you bring out that quality that you fear, at least in your own mind. But if you expect the best, you are powerful enough to evoke that quality in others. By learning to give freely and without ulterior motives, you are letting go of the energy of manipulation. You can spend so much time manipulating the lives of those around you that you become caught in this mode of expression, thereby stunting your own growth. As you release this negative energy, you realize that just because people travel their own separate path doesn't mean they don't care about and support one another. You start to understand that if others truly care about you, they will be there when you need them. And if not, then maybe they don't care as much as they say or as you think they do. This helps you sort out the people who really care about you from those who don't. And also, it broadens your awareness of the many different ways that people can show how they care. When you reach this awareness, you will operate from a sense of your full power, and there will be no holding you back. You are also learning about the proper use of power, that it is negative to use your power over those who are weaker, and positive to share your power to assist others in coming into their own strength. It is in empowering others that you gain a sense of your own strength in a way that breeds self-esteem.